All right, we're going to go on an incredible journey. And it all starts with something you could literally just hold in your hand, a simple rock. But it ends with the very technology that powers our entire modern world. So yeah, let's dive in. It sounds a little bit like magic, doesn't it? The idea that inside some plain-looking stone is the silent hero of our daily lives. I mean, think about it. From the wiring in our walls to the tiny circuits in our smartphones, copper is absolutely everywhere. How does it get from being buried deep within the earth into the devices we really can't live without? Well, that's the journey we're going to follow. And we're starting right at the beginning, deep, deep underground. So this whole story begins millions and millions of years ago with copper just hidden away in these ancient rock formations. But finding it, it isn't like finding a needle in a haystack. No, it's more like finding one specific grain of sand on an entire beach. Before a single shovel even hits the ground, you have scientists who are working incredibly hard. They use all these advanced techniques to map out exactly where the concentration of copper is high enough to even think about starting the monumental task of mining. Okay, so once a location is finally confirmed, the true scale of the operation really begins. And we're talking about creating a man-made canyon here, a massive open-pit mine carved directly out of the Earth's surface. And what's the first huge challenge? Well, before they can even get to the rock that has the copper, miners have to remove up to 100 meters of just worthless dirt and stone that's sitting on top. That's like having to dig out a 30-story building just to get to the starting line. And how on earth do you move that much rock? Well, you do it with machines that are almost unbelievably huge. These haul trucks are absolute giants, each one capable of carrying 400 tons of rock in a single trip. It's just staggering. But here's the really mind-blowing part. After all that effort, all that digging, the rock they finally get to contains, on average, just half of 1% of actual copper. Think about that. For every 200 tons of rock they haul out, only 1 ton is the prize they're after. So to break this super hard rock free, engineers use these incredibly precise explosions. They drill deep holes into the rock, pack them with explosives, and then the blasts are set off just milliseconds apart. It creates this amazing ripple effect that shatters the stone in a truly spectacular, earth-shaking display. Now, once all that rock is broken up and collected, the journey hits a really crucial turning point. See, not all copper ore is the same, so the raw material now splits down one of two very different chemical paths. It's a fork in the road. Right, so if the ore is an oxide ore, it gets piled high and basically sprinkled with a weak sulfuric acid. It's a patient process. Over weeks, the acid just slowly dissolves the copper out. But if it's a sulfide ore, it needs a much more energetic approach. It's crushed into a fine powder, mixed with water and chemicals, and then air is bubbled through the whole thing. The tiny copper particles cling to the bubbles and float to the top like a frothy concentrate. Whichever path it takes, the copper is still nowhere near pure. So now comes the most dramatic part of the whole process, where intense heat and powerful electrical currents are used to forge the final, perfect metal. For that more complex sulfide ore, the path is fascinating. So after flotation gets it to about 30% purity, that concentrate is sent to a smelter. It's mixed with silica sand and melted, which doubles its purity to 60%. This molten copper is then poured into these huge rectangular blocks called anodes, and they're ready for the final, incredible step. And this is where the real magic happens, electro-refining. Those giant copper anodes are submerged in a special solution. An electric current is passed through, and pure copper ions literally leave the anode and deposit themselves atom by atom onto a super thin plate. All the impurities? They just fall away to the bottom, leaving behind a sheet of copper that is an astonishing 99.99% pure. And with that, our journey is almost complete. This ultra-pure copper is now ready to be transformed from these giant metal sheets into the components that form the very backbone of our technological society. So, where does it all end up? Well, look around you. It becomes the electrical wires that carry power to your home. It's inside the motors, running everything from your car to your fridge. It's in the intricate circuitry of every single electronic device you own. It literally forms the power grid that connects us all. So the next time you plug in your phone or just flip a light switch, maybe you'll remember this incredible journey, a transformation of fire, electricity, and just amazing human ingenuity that turns a humble rock into the indispensable metal that makes our entire modern world possible.